Hello everyone, I am Servant Counselor Miyama, and this is my world of restoring hope through practical biblical counseling. I'll be talking about ineffective communication as one of the major keys that affect our relationship. There are certain petty issues that affect our relationship. Song of Solomon, chapter number 2, verse number 15, talks about how we are to deal with little foxes that affect our garden. There are certain little foxes in our marriages, in our relationship, in our work, in our various endeavors. And if these foxes are not dealt with, if they are not being shaped, if they are not being nurtured, if they are not being pruned, then we will have a relationship that will affect either us or our partner. If communication is assessed properly, then we are assured of having a lasting impact in our relationship. Communication is defined as a system, as a process, as a standardized way of transmitting or exchanging information, thereby affecting the other or to cause change. If communication is not done properly, then we will have a relationship that will be at the verge of dying. May I now introduce you to certain factors that inhibit effective communication. 1. Presumptions. Most couples tend to presume that whatever their partners are saying will end this way or that way. In that sense, it affects the one who is having the communication with you. 2. Not taking actions or not responding according to how the message is intended to do. When one is having a communication with you and expects certain actions to be taken and realize that you have neglected that kind of action, then it affects the other, thereby in his future communication with you, he has doubt as to what to say and what to expect. Point number 3. Interrupting when one is speaking. Most at times, we hear people try to interrupt and try to get to conclusions of matters when one is trying to explain him or herself. When this happens, the person gets to a stage by which he thinks that his words has been consumed by the listener. This also affects communication. 4. Most people tend to impose than to suggest. When you are having communication with someone, I believe and I think it is best to suggest. Please, can we do it this way? I think if we do this way, it will end this way. Than to impose that I am urging you to do this. When this happens, the other person feels that he has been intimidated and that his will and submissions has been dented upon. Point number 5. Timing. Most couples don't actually know when, how, and what to say at certain given opportunity. Most at times, we realize that even when a couple just comes from work and meets the other partner in the house, instead of waiting for the partner have a rest, have a meal, even a shower, no, the other quickly just jump to tell what has happened in the house, especially giving complaints of children to husband. This is not the right timing. We should have an avenue by which we would discuss issues and even learn how to present such issues. If this is done very well, I believe there will be cohesion between the couples. Point number 6. Tonation. Our tone of presenting matter becomes headache to most people, thereby affecting our way of thinking. Instead of just putting a common smile on the face, most people just frown. And in frowning, it suggests anger. It also suggests resentment. If this is not dealt with, it will affect that. Again, our body gestures. Most people tend to even bow down their heads when speaking, and when this happens, it affects the communication mode. I think and suggest there should be an eye-to-eye contact. When this happens, it suggests confidence, and it also suggests that you trust the person whom you are having the communication with. Communication is being affected when one is glued to his television, is glued to his mobile phone, is glued to his computers, glued to other books or other occurrences not dealt with. It affects the mode of transmission. Point number 8, attaching emotions when one is speaking. Most people try to suggest feelings of pain, feelings of anger, feelings of not being treated fairly. It affects the way that he responds to your mood. Point number 9, constant repetition. If couples who want to suggest keeps on saying things constantly, it makes the other person feel he is immature, he is irresponsible, thereby it affects the relation. I think and suggest that you periodically give space when you are making an informative statement. At times, let's give our partners space to also think through how they are to respond to such situations. Point number 10, comparison. Comparison is trying to compare your current situation, your current state of being, to either friends, either co-workers, or whatever that we find ourselves at that moment. If this happened, this affects the one that you are exchanging the message or having the communication with. You should understand who your partner is, how he responds to issues, how you think he will also respond to the current issues, by stopping comparing ourselves. Most couples try to compare their previous relationship to their current relationship, thereby expecting more or less from their current couples. This becomes hindrance to communication. I believe if this is dealt with properly, we will have successful journey through our relationship. Remember, the book of Proverbs chapter 15 verse number 1 says, a soft answer turns out wrath, but grievous words stirs up anger. I believe if our tonations, our timing, how we present issues, our gestures, our mode of transmission, our presentation are being dealt, we will have a lasting relationship. See you on my next video as I present to you these words of hope. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to this channel. I am your counselor, servant, Ernest Communucation. Don't forget, there's always possibility ahead. Thank you for watching.